Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in once again. My name is Naz. Just me today. Jake is unavailable, unfortunately. But you're watching The Reaction Haven, and today we're going to be watching episode 5 of She-Hulk on Disney+. Before we get into the video, if you like hanging out with us here at Reaction Haven, hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel a lot, and we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Last episode we saw Wong a lot, and there was this new character, Donnie Blaze. He summoned like all of these bat creatures from like the fire dimension or something, and Wong and She-Hulk had to take care of them, and they eventually won that court case. Last episode was one of the more entertaining ones that we've watched here, but from our perspective, this show still has a lot of issues. Like some of the humor isn't quite hitting, but a lot of it hit in the last episode. So we'll see what happens in this episode. Who else might pop up here in this show? Are we gonna get Daredevil? Are we gonna get other cameos? Hopefully this episode isn't too short and wraps up in a nice bow. So stick around and let's get to it.
What makes you beautiful? She-Hulk by Titania. Be strong, be beautiful, own who you are.
Oh, that's right. She's an influencer, isn't she? Titania?
She-Hulk by Titania.
Did this name come before or after Jen turned into She-Hulk?
This woman, Titania, has trademarked my name.
That's dumb. Why would you let her do that?
I didn't let her, Jen.
Full disclosure, I did watch a couple of episodes of The Good Place, and
I'm so sorry.
she was in there, and I did like that show. I did like her in it too.
I want you to stop and take all of this down.
What seems to be the issue?
You're using my name to sell your trashy products.
And you're suing me?
Now get over it, Jennifer. The name's She-Hulk. It's mine.
So you're not mad at the name She-Hulk?
No, I don't care.
Okay, so you're totally over it.
Yeah, like the most over it.
You're crushing your stapling.
What?
See, whenever a girl says she's fine, to us guys, it's not fine.
What do you need? You got everything. Captain America shield, Thor hammer,
Oh my god.
Avengers t-shirt.
This says AVONGERS.
You like Avengers? I got Avengers.
Oh, with an I.
Okay,
Now,
Guys, this was my childhood.
Let's talk, okay? I want custom-made clothing. So the name She-Hulk was never really mine, officially. Everyone in the media just started calling me that, but now this incredibly awful, slightly superpowered woman.
How did
takes
Titania, how did she get her superpowers in the first place? Did we go over that in this episode?
Nice suit, Shrek.
Shrek. If you remember in our episode 1, I called her Fiona. Link right here.
Your Honor, we move to dismiss this entirely frivolous suit.
I will not answer to that name. You know why? Because it's not my name. My name never has been and never will be She-Hulk. It's lazy, it's reductive, and it's straight up garbage.
Rip.
Any response, Miss
Rip.
Book?
Rip.
Actually,
Rip.
yes. We have one more clip to show.
Can you prove a pattern of Miss Walters' personal use of the name?
Yes, Your Honor, we definitely have more to present.
You better, otherwise I'm inclined to side with the defendant.
Oh my god. Is the HAG convention in town?
Hold that.
Liz, Mickey Ramos, this is the She-Hulk.
I'm gonna use that line.
Jennifer Walters.
The HAG convention in town.
My client list is very exclusive.
I just want you to make me a new suit.
Okay, what kind of superheroing do you do? Do you need...
Now, I've
So
seen
did
the
this guy
business.
make all of the Avengers costumes? I thought Tony Stark did
The
that.
highest combat standards. I don't make...
Comment
basic
section.
shit.
Let me know.
I don't really need any of that. Because I made a dating profile as She-Hulk and went on several dates as She-Hulk, showing a clear pattern of using the name. Every single one of those dates is a corroborating witness. This is how I win this case.
By parading the
Okay.
men that you dated in front of a courtroom.
Parading the question. Okay.
And that's gonna be embarrassing.
Yeah.
Are they really gonna get all of her dates in the previous episode? They totally did. Okay.
Your Honor, we have compelling
Behind her.
evidence. Would you have gone on the date if She-Hulk had instead presented as Jennifer
Oh
Walters?
no.
Look, I don't mean to be rude, but no.
In light of this new testimony,
I'm not affected.
the court finds in favor of Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk.
Hey, Titania.
What?
I'm so sorry that happened to you. Just give me too late.
Fine. You can buy me things. Let's go.
Fine, you can buy me things? Jesus. Gentlemen, stay away from those kind of girls. Do yourself a favor. Stay away.
Hello? This shouldn't be left out in the open. Tinsley, does client confidentiality mean nothing to you?
Alright guys, that was episode 5 of She-Hulk, and just my immediate thoughts. Only 2 things really happened in this episode. One was, the major one was the court case between homegirl here, Jennifer, and Titania. I personally enjoyed that aspect of the show more, where I think this show had a lot more minutes showing like the court case. That's what really drew me into watching this show in the first place, was, you know, the court aspect of, you know, what it's like defending and prosecuting people with powers. That's what really drew me into watching this show in the first place, and I wish we see more of that here in the show and potentially in the future. So eventually Jen does win the case, because in the previous episode everything is kind of connected now, where we see all the dudes that she went on a date on as She-Hulk. They do show up again in this episode, and from the last episode I thought that was just kind of like a throwaway, you know, sort of side story, and we're never gonna see those guys again or revisit that Tinder match or whatever thing event that happened last week. But no, that's still connected to this episode, and that did surprise me on, you know, the amount of connections we saw from this episode and the last episode, because so far from this show we haven't really seen a lot of connections to much larger things like that. So this one was kind of a refreshing episode for me, because I liked seeing the connection that way. The other major thing that happens here is the side story of Jen's friend, her and the other dude, finding a superhero costume for Jen, because she, well, they all mention it, they're all tired of Jen wearing the large baggy suits, and then they even make a comment of it in the episode too. And the side story, it was entertaining, it was fine. I am confused though. I asked a question while watching the video. Does this dude that they introduced here in this episode, is he in charge of making all of the superhero costumes? Because in my point of view, I always thought it was Tony who always sort of dealt with making superhero costumes, or like S.H.I.E.L.D. or something. But I guess there's multiple people out there in the market and selling and creating superhero outfits. So I guess that's a cool aspect of the MCU lore adding into it as well. The other kind of a side story that we saw there at the very end was the Daredevil helmet that this guy, I think his name was Luke, he was also in charge of making for Matt. So I'm calling it, I think we're seeing Matt in the next episode. The Daredevil helmet we saw looks, it had a more yellowish hue, I think, so it's not going to be that red one we saw on the Netflix show. So I can't wait to see Matt in this show and see how, you know, the seriousness of that Daredevil character was in a Netflix show, and then sort of putting it into a more of a comedic style show like this. It will be really interesting dynamic between Jen and Matt, and I can't wait to see that. I really want to see more of the, like I said, just the court cases, and I want to see maybe Jen and Matt go against each other in court. I think that'll be really interesting for a future episode. So there's 4 episodes left, I believe, and so far I'm not really seeing the grand story like Jake and I talked about last episode, where so far we just feel like this is an episodic kind of show where we don't see like an overarching story like previous MCU shows that we've seen before, like WandaVision, Loki, and all that stuff. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Once again, if you did enjoy watching this video or any of our videos, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. It really does help the channel. And we'll see you guys on the next video.